Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Champaign, Illinois. You're watching Caught for Two. You're joining me for a not exactly smooth month of October here. I've gotten sick. I'm still not 100% better, but I'm getting antsy to get back to our schedule. So we're going to give it a try. We'll see how this goes. If everything goes well, we'll be streaming a lot for the remainder of the month. Let me check in with the chat, see how everyone is doing. YouTube says 23 concurrent viewers. You saw that AI-filled intro with some Halloween special segments in it. Looks like we are okay here. We've got a couple new viewers, some original old-timers here. So let's do some bookkeeping before we get started today. Last week went a little wrong. We played the first part of Mockery Manor, a highly produced audio heavy with lots of voice acting game that was actually quite fun. But we had to postpone part 2 because my cough got worse. I sort of got hit by 2 flus, one after the other. Okay, so I have rescheduled that for this coming Friday, though. So if you want to join me for part 2 on Friday, you still have time to catch up by watching part 1. We'll do a long recap before we get started there. And then we'll continue our mail-based Dear Holmes segment on Sunday. If all goes well, what I'd like to do on Saturday between those two is a live channel update Q&A. I do hope that you can join me for that. And then if I'm feeling well, I'll try to stream as many days from now until the end of October as I can, culminating in a Halloween playthrough of a very deluxe escape room scary game called Root of All Evil. Probably that'll take us 2 days or maybe even 3. So we'll have to figure out where we want to hit that on Halloween. On other matters, it looks like we're in for a big month of crowdfunding, so I'm going to try to sneak in another episode of Tabletop Mystery Game News and go over some of those games coming out, including a new Chronicles of Crime Kickstarter, which I am very excited about, but a whole bunch of others. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, which has been, so I've been doing a lot of sleeping, a lot of NyQuil, and I have a hard time sleeping, and I tend to listen to audiobooks. Recently, someone suggested on the Discord channel a YouTube channel called Watch It for Days. Does anyone know this channel? DJ on the Discord recommended it to me. And what is Watch It for Days? Watch It for Days is a channel with very long videos walking through episodes of the classic TV detective show Columbo. Now, Columbo is one of my favorites. I used to watch it with my father. If you haven't seen Columbo, you owe it to yourself to check it out. It's from like the 70s or so. It's quite a special show, and watching these videos has made me even appreciate it even more. But this woman who makes these videos, sometimes they're longer than the actual shows. They can be like hour-long videos. And she'll just go through it and explain it. And every time someone comes on the screen, she'll give you like where they were born, all the bit actors, all the background actors. She'll discuss it. She'll discuss the show. She'll discuss every car that comes up on screen. She'll give you a little bit of the history of it. It's sort of an acquired taste, but once you get into her style, I find it extremely comforting. And it makes me appreciate Columbo even more. And if you haven't watched Columbo, it's such a crazy idea for the way these detective stories are told. And Columbo was very popular at the time. And they call it an inverted mystery, which is at the start of the show, you see the culprit. You see the person commit the crime. And then the entire detective show is watching how the detective is going to catch them, how Columbo is going to prove that they did it. And Columbo is a very specific character. It's a very unusual detective, and he's sort of unassuming, and it's really quite wonderful. If you've never watched Columbo, you should watch some episodes of Columbo and then check out Watch It for Days. All right, let's talk about what we're going to do today. Now, I suspect that while I'm still recovering, we may have breaks a little more frequently. I may be drinking a little more frequently. I've got a scene I can hit a button so that you won't hear me cough. Okay, so what are we doing today? There are a couple of print and play escape room games, and this is one of them. I have one other one called Forsaken Soul, something like that. The one we're playing today is called Secret of Langton Manor. It comes in 4 parts. You can purchase this on itch.io for $10. You purchase access to the full set of 4, each one presumably taking you an hour and a half or so, so probably it'll take us 3 to 5 hours. There is an app that goes with this where you check your answers. And lots of cutting out of pieces and cards, so I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work. We're only going to play the first part of 4 tonight. Whether and when we play the other 3 episodes will be for us to decide. So I really don't know what to expect. I did purchase it. As I said, quite reasonable, quite cheap, $10 for the set of 4. Of course, you have to print it yourself. There are a couple reasons to think that a print and play format for these kinds of games is actually very well suited. One is that you can only play these games once, and the other one is that it's quite convenient to be able to write on the materials, which we'll be able to do today. You will have to install an app. I've already installed it on the tablet. And it's hard to tell how much narrative is going to be in this. There is a little bit of a story, a continuing story, but I suspect it's mostly a puzzle game. I think it was Jonathan Warner who found this for me, for us to play. Is there anything else we need to discuss before we start playing? Any other projects people are working on? Anything else for us to... There's the app you can see. And we're going to be playing episode 1 Legacy. The art here is AI assisted. There is a timer. I'm just going to pause it here while we play. Matt says, my wife and I have both been dealing with cough for weeks. Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like angry that this is still happening. I have a bit of a sore throat today. Now, some of you may not be familiar with the concept of what's happening in your body when you get sick and get a fever and get a cough and a runny nose and all that. Does everyone out there understand? It's actually, when I was studying neuroscience, one of the common mistakes in thinking about symptoms is people tend to think about the symptoms as things are going wrong. Like there are some movement disorders where people are moving weird and jerking and whatever. And when you think of it, you think of, okay, this is a disorder that causes this movement disorder. And when you think you get sick, you might think, oh, this virus infection is causing my nose to run or causing my temperature to rise. And people don't realize that most of what you're seeing is not the direct action of the infection. It's your body's response to thinking that you've got an infection. When you get a fever, that's your body trying to kill off the infection by raising the temperature of the substrate of your body to kill the infection. And the mucus and all that are the defense mechanisms. So that's why sometimes it feels like it would be nice to have a switch and be like, okay, just chill out, just relax. You don't need to go on such a rampage to kill this thing. So it's hard to know whether the infection is gone and the body's just overreacting or not. Anyway, I was having a debate about whether a sore throat is like that. Sore throat, according to ChatGPT, is a bit of a combination. The infection is directly inflaming your throat, perhaps, but also the defense mechanisms are sending in white blood cells or whatever it's doing, and something that increases the sensitivity to pain is part of a defense mechanism. So sore throat is a little bit of both. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. So here's episode 1. I think episode 1 may be free. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, what is this game? The Secret of Langton Manor is an escape room game that you can play at home. Like all escape room games, you will need to solve a series of puzzles for a certain time. Story is set in a mysterious old mansion. Players must work together to explore the rooms, find hidden objects, decode cryptic messages. Game is divided into episodes you can play during several sittings. This is the first episode called Legacy. You'll probably need 1 to 2 hours to solve an episode. Okay, scanning this just brings you to the Google Play app that you have to have installed. If you need help, you can get hints. I guess we get hints here. You can see we can click on hint. Okay. All right, how to play. So basically, it's just saying you need scissors. You'll be cutting stuff out. You'll be watching me cut out stuff. And then when we have a puzzle, it's got a shape. So first we adjust this lock to the shape, and then we put in the code. So each puzzle has a symbol. Each symbol is a 3-digit code. So it looks like one of these games where every puzzle is going to have an answer in a very specific form of 3 digits. If you get it right, you'll be told. If not, I guess you'll be told. 10 puzzles, it says in this episode. Okay, to begin, after you've read those instructions, flip the stack of remaining pages so that the back... So what it tells you is you don't have to print this in color. I printed it on heavy stock, but it all has to be single-sided. So we're going to flip this, start the app, and take the page from the top of the stack. Should be a letter with page number 2. So I'm going to flip this and turn the first page, which is page number 2. Okay. October 31st, 1922. My dear friend, I trust this letter finds you well. I have quite exciting news to share with you. A relative of ours has recently passed away and has left us an inheritance, a rather large estate known as Langton Manor. Upon receiving the news, I immediately visited the property to assess its condition and make any necessary arrangements. While it is in need of repair, with a little effort and investment, the house can be restored to its former glory. I write to you today with a request for your assistance in this endeavor. The property is quite large, and I fear that managing the restoration on my own would be a big challenge. I would be deeply grateful if you could join me in this project and help bring new life to this grand old house. I'm well aware that this request could disrupt your current commitments, but I hope you will consider it. As an added benefit, the estate comes with its own butler, so household duties will be well taken care of. Should you accept, a package awaits you at Liverpool Street Station, and I've enclosed the necessary ticket for its retrieval. I eagerly await your decision and hope to see you soon. Take the next page. Okay, and then there's something here we don't know why or if that's significant. You can see part of the problem in here, when I'm just sitting working at the computer, symptoms seem mild. When I have to talk for 3 hours, the calls start coming. Okay, so we've got a next page, and clearly we're going to be cutting stuff. So it just says take the next page. As soon as we get a page, I guess I'm going to cut it up here. Hopefully we can do this without too much time wasted. Okay, that gets folded. This gets cut. All right, let's put this aside. And then this is getting folded. All right, so these aren't particularly numbered. We've got a postcard of Langton Manor, I guess. Is there any sense that we know what direction folds happen? Okay. Equal. Equal with gods, aspiring to be such in every gesture, dignity, and love. Great things by small, if nature concord broke his mighty standard, that proud honor claimed their own heroic deeds and hapless fall. John Milton, Paradise Lost. All right, let's see what we've got here. So it looks like we've got a puzzle with a square. Left luggage desk. Sorry, the clerk said gruffly, but without the full number, I cannot retrieve your stored item. We must ensure items go to their rightful owners. The left luggage desk was a place of trust and responsibility, and the clerk was determined to uphold these values at all costs. Okay, so he wants the full number of our checked luggage. And we've got another little folded thing. I like how they're of different sizes. So we've got a ticket here, a left luggage ticket. As I examined the ticket, I noticed the torn corner where the third digit was missing. Had John done this deliberately to protect the luggage? And what could be the significance of the peculiar poem written on the card? So we're missing a corner, I see. So we've got a square and we've got, it looks like 2 of 4 digits, but this said 1 missing digit. The 3rd digit was missing. Is it only 3 digits? I thought it said that everything was going to have 4 digits. No, 3 digits. Everything has 3 digits. Okay, so 3, 6, something. The question is, what is the 3rd digit? Number of packages 1. We need to claim it by figuring out the 3rd missing digit. And the only other thing we have is this, which doesn't seem like it's gonna have something, but this feels like it's gonna have the missing digit. All right. Well, I mean, we've got a paper clip around the EQIN. We're looking for a number, a digit from 0 to 9. EIGHT. Okay, well, that's easy enough. It's 8, EIGHT. Okay, well, it's good for the first puzzle to be easy. So let's see if we can figure out how to put this in. EIGHT. So 3, 6, 8 is what we think it's going to be. So it's the square puzzle. And we think it should be 3, 6, 8. And then what do we do? Tap on the lock. The clerk disappeared for a second behind the counter and then came back carrying a sealed envelope. It contained a railway route map, a small key, and a history book. Then take the next page. Now, do we think we're going to ever need this stuff again? Possibly. We'll just put it in a pile here. Take the next page. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and cut these out as soon as we get them. So, like most of the mystery games played here on this channel, you'll only be able to play this, experience it once. If this seems like something for your group, you may want to stop watching now. You can go purchase this for $10, download it, print it out yourself. Or you could join me for the first episode and then play the other 3. All right, let's take a look at what we've got. We've got 3 items. Railway route map. Sealed envelope. Okay, this is a fold on it. So I guess this is the sealed envelope. Sorry, sealed envelope. Railway route, small key, and history book. Okay. Let's take a look at these in turn. Looks like we've got a symbol here. Can we read this railway map? Standing at the London train station, I was unsure of Langton Manor's location. I examined the train map, recalling that sometimes straight lines that cross can reveal hidden numbers. You recalled that sometimes straight lines that cross can reveal hidden numbers. Okay. Well, this is interesting. We've got 4 diamonds here, and then I see 1 diamond, 2 diamond, 3 diamond, 4 diamond. So are those going to be... Well, we don't have 4 digits. We have 3 digits. Straight lines that cross, reveal hidden numbers. All right, let's just take a look at what else we have here. I'm not sure if these are all part of the single puzzle or what. Here's a history book, The Legacy of the Roman Empire. The origins of Roman numerals began with shepherds and early commerce. Romans valued simple record keeping, drawing inspiration from counting stick notches. These evolved into distinct symbols denoting specific values. Fundamental characters IV, X, L, C, D, and M denoted the numbers 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, 500, and 1,000, respectively. To represent numbers, the Romans combined these symbols, stringing them together in decreasing order. When a lesser numeral appeared before a greater one, its value was subtracted. If it stood after, its value was added. Oh, again, system. I wonder if I might not read some of this. Just point to it. So it's teaching us the Roman numeral system in case we don't know it. And then we have a small brass key, seemed to fit for a jewel box or a drawer. And here we have this, which seems to match this. Do we think we're... So it may be that some of these puzzles are not ready to solve now. I wonder if we don't overlay all of these. Like, might we write a 0 here and an X here? This is an erasable ink, so I'm just going to put this here for now. Otherwise, I don't know how to use this better. That's weird. Better, huh? And then here, we have symbols that I don't know how to make sense of. So let's go back here for a second. Take the next page. If I click this now, okay, so there's our thing. So our next puzzle, I wonder if we're going to find the 4 diamonds. Yeah, okay, so that's probably what we're going to be doing here. So we need 4 digits, perhaps, no, sorry, 3 digits, perhaps 3 Roman numerals. 3 digits, but 4 diamonds. Numbers, sometimes straight lines that cross can reveal hidden numbers. Let's see if we can't zoom in a little bit on some of this. What are we looking at? I mean, there is some text here, but it's hard to read. I, V, X, L, C, D, and M. Those are the Roman numeral letters. Do we need to be reading this text? Surely not. Straight lines that cross reveal hidden numerals, hidden numbers. We're talking about these kinds of straight lines. It's all strange. I mean, my gut tells me, my gut instinct is that the entire puzzle is on this page, and this is just back, and we should be looking for Roman numerals. And that this isn't relevant yet, I don't know if that's right. Straight lines that cross. Maybe we should be looking at these crosses. One, how many crosses are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of them. Straight lines that cross can reveal hidden numbers. Like here's a straight line that crosses. What hidden number does it reveal? Let's see if the chat has any ideas. Sounds like everyone is getting sick here. I mean, I suppose we could try zooming in a little bit on some of these and see if anything jumps out at us. I mean, there's a straight line that crosses. Most of these lines drawn here do not look straight. But these crosses are. What would that be revealing? And there are too many of them to get 1 digit per. I mean, there's a straight line, and it might hit this one. Is that what we should be looking for? Like, here's a straight line, and here's a straight line. Should we be looking for what's at that intersection? I would try drawing lines to connect the diamonds and see what jumps out. Building on DJ, maybe the lines cross between diamonds need to be straight and pass through a cross. Straight lines that cross. I mean, I suppose there's lots of things we could do, but your straight lines that cross. I mean, I suppose we could start drawing lines, but I'm a little nervous about putting too many lines. If we draw lines between the diamonds and the crosses, there's a lot of them. Are you sure we shouldn't be just trying to draw lines between the crosses? I worry that we're going to be drawing too many lines here. Straight lines that cross. Feels like maybe we should be drawing lines between all the crosses. I don't know what the diamonds have to do with it though. I like the idea though, but there's too many diamonds and crosses to be drawing lines between all of them. Straight lines that cross. Guess I'd be more inclined to think that it's just the straight lines and not the diamonds. There's still an awful lot of them. And what are we looking for? Like, what's the format of the answer we're expecting to find? This doesn't feel right. Cross, 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 cross. Is that all of the crosses? And we're expecting to find Roman numerals. This does not seem right. I mean, what? Am I going to draw a line between every cross and itself? Doesn't. Feels like this whole thing is going to get very messy very quick, and we don't know what we're looking. I don't see how we get Roman numerals out of these. This can't be right. Not only can it be right, but it's getting messy. You somehow have to be able to read off a sequence, which is probably going to be of Roman numerals. Do we have any way to expect an order here? And then the other problem here is this text is so small. Are we meant to be able to read any of this? To Bletchley, Lemmingham. Sometimes straight lines that cross can reveal hidden numbers. I mean, there's 5 diamond, there's 5 crosses. 1, 2, 3, and 4 diamonds. What about straight lines that cross and reveal hidden numbers? I do not like how many possibilities are here. Well, I'm not happy with how many combinatorial possibilities there are here. For each of the diamonds, other than one, they're bylines that seem to resemble Roman numeral letters. I don't know about that. Let's see our first test about how easy it is to erase these things without messing everything up, messing the printed ink up. I mean, it doesn't erase great, but it erases okay. I'd like to do my old trick of asking myself, rather than trying to solve it, what can we observe and what do we expect the answer to look like? Straight lines that cross. Yeah, I gotta say, I don't love this puzzle just because of how many possible permutations of trying things there seem to be. But all right, I gotta remember not to get upset by that kind of puzzle. Just try to embrace it. Well, you could imagine you could draw straight lines through the crosses. It is interesting that these two crosses seem right on top, almost on top of each other. Straight lines that cross. There's a cross, there's a cross. These seem to be in a straight line. This one and this one almost. I mean, really, what are you supposed to do here? Can we read? I mean, the possibilities here are so huge. All right, Valley thinks they see something, but I don't really get it. Now normally we would sit here with this for a long time, but I can see I'm unhappy with this. So we're just going to try something different today. We're going to click on the hint. Somewhere on the map is the location of the house. Connect the diamond markers on the map using straight lines. You'll need a ruler for accuracy. So this one wants the diamonds connected. Why should you pick the diamonds connect? We don't know. We considered diamonds. We considered the crosses. All right. We're going to connect the diamonds now. Connect all the diamonds. I mean, what am I doing? Am I connecting every diamond to every other diamond? Am I looking for a place where am I looking for this place? I'm looking for a number here that has nothing to do with Roman numerals? Is that the idea, that we're just looking for what number this is? 129? Sometimes straight lines that cross. I think that's what it might be, 129, but I gotta say, I do not like this puzzle. Let's try it before we take hint 2. Let's just try 129 and see what happens. Yeah, that was it. Having uncovered the location of the manor, I bought a ticket for the first available train. Okay, well, I am not a fan of that puzzle. That's for sure. And notice that we didn't use these. And this seemed to be deliberately misleading us about this. Okay. Take the next page, page 5. All right. So we've got a page that folds. And we've got a floor plan. Let's take a look. So, and then this says take the next page. So let's go ahead and take page 6. So what's interesting now is that it's not linear. We don't have we're not solving just one puzzle after the other. We've now got several puzzles, and whether we have enough to solve them, we don't know. We haven't encountered a situation yet where we have a puzzle that uses old pieces, but it looks like we've got 3 separate puzzles that we could solve to get access to these places. The Manor entrance doesn't look like a puzzle in and of itself. Plus we've got the key from before. We've got some floor plans. And we've got, it looks like, the butler. "Welcome to Langton Manor," Samuel said in a formal tone. He gestured for me to enter the mansion, but made a point of not crossing the threshold himself. Then we've got some weird word here. Here's Samuel. As the train pulled into the station, I caught sight of a tall man dressed in black evening wear, holding a sign with my name. He introduced himself as Samuel, the mansion's butler, promptly led me to a waiting car, and then we have this word in L. So what? Do we think that we're going to assemble all of these at some point? And some of them seem to be in code. Okay, this just looks like it's a little bit of flavor, not part of a puzzle. But here, if we look at this, can we make some sense of this? We've got the entrance, I guess, here. Manor entrance. Then we've got the salon. Right door. So there's a star and a star. So this goes over here. Then we've got a desk, which is, I guess, here is the desk in the salon. And then the salon left door is here. So that's pretty cool. We're like here, and we can choose where to go. Through this door, or we can look at the desk. Or perhaps we can use the key to go through here. Now that is interesting. All right, let's take a look at the entrance. As I turned to ask the butler about the situation, the door closed swiftly behind me. I attempted to open it, but found it unyielding. I called out, "Hello?" into the vacant room. The lone reply was the groan of the floorboards beneath me. And we have a symbol and 3 faces, which seem like they're the 3 digits to answer something. So is there a puzzle matching that weird symbol? No. So this is not the answer to a puzzle. I'm not so, oops. This is not a puzzle symbol, so I'm not sure what we do with this. But these are. So we could attack any of these. Let's see what we've got. So here at the desk, we've just got this 3x3 grid again. What's interesting is that when I overlaid this with this and filled in those letters, this seems to safely overlay on top of this. So it looks like E, S, E, 3 question marks. Imagine stove. So I wonder if eventually we're going to fill this whole grid out. The room was largely devoid of furniture, except for an old dusty desk with several drawers. I found a floor plan of the museum lying on the desk. One drawer was locked. And then we have the word devoid in a different font with a star behind it and a 6. The salon one. Salon left door. The left door was quite large and imposing, with a statue of an angel placed in an arched alcove above it. Written across the width of the door was an inscription in a strange language. Now, I noticed that this strange language matches this quite well. Like if we flip this over, look, C plus YU, like this is this, and then this is this. So these pieces are going there. And then better, BETT, no. Okay, so these look like part of a bigger puzzle. I'm not sure we're ready to solve that. What about this one? Above the right door of the salon, something was scribbled with a black substance. Probably charcoal. The door itself was locked, its peculiar pyramid-shaped keyhole evoking further curiosity. Okay. So this is written in. It's not part of this. It's something else. And now we have a star 2 of. And this one is star devoid 6. Is this matching this? So is it telling us that this code has a 2 and a 6 in it? Or what would be the other? The small brass keys seem fit for a jewel box or drawer. And then here we're told about a small drawer. So are these our 3 digits that we should be looking for? Okay, what about that? What if the key to this is these and these are 3 digits? Might these be the 3 digits that are explaining these letters? 1, 2, 6. How about that? Look at this. I solved this. I think I'm being clever. I look in the chat. 1, 2, 6. You already figured it out. Okay, Valerie figured it out before me. Jonathan Warner says, are those zodiac symbols above the door to the salon? They do look like zodiac star symbols, but nothing in this game has suggested we have to do external research. In fact, it taught us about Roman numerals. So I'm guessing that if this is significant, zodiac symbols, we're going to be told what they are. However, we have figured this one out. I was pretty proud of myself actually connecting that. Now that's pretty clever, huh? It's saying like this, telling us that this probably goes with this, and then this, figuring out we need to guess these, and when we guess these, we get 3 digits. Okay, so we know how to do this puzzle. So we got a bad puzzle, and now we got a good puzzle. So we think the answer to this puzzle is 1, 2, 6. So let's go ahead and put that in. 1, 2, 6. I carefully inserted the small brass key into the lock of the desk and gave it a gentle turn. The lock clicked, and I pulled open the drawer to reveal its contents. Take envelope. Not take envelope. Take the next page, which is page 7. Okay. So here we have a cutout. This is my nemesis. These folding things, especially with such stiff paper, but we'll see if we can make it work. So we found this in the drawer. Viewers of this channel can predict what's likely to happen next is likely to be unpleasant. Let's read this though. Inside the locked drawer, my eyes fell upon a strange object. It was an intricate creation with symbols of the zodiac etched into its brass surface. It appeared to be some kind of talisman or amulet, possibly used for divination or as a good luck charm. All right, so we've got, in addition to this carved out, in addition to this, which has got those zodiac signs on it, we've got part of this puzzle where we found this, this, and this. Devoid of eyes? So can we get a phrase that gives us a sequence? Interesting. So I will notice that of has 2 letters. Devoid has 6 letters. Eyes would have 4 letters. Whether we've got an order for these or not, I'm not totally sure. Okay, well, this is clearly telling us if we've got a folding situation. I guess we can get started with this. I don't know if this paper is so stiff. I'm not sure that's gonna make life harder or easier for us. Also doesn't feel like it's exactly, this could be stressful. Okay, let's do all the folds, we'll worry about it. We'll worry about it later. Trying to crease the paper sufficiently so that we'll be able to do any folds it wants us to do. All right, let's see if we can figure out what does it want from us. So we're making one of those things where you, whatever it's called, the fortune telling things. So there's the blank side. There's that. I believe we've got this right. I think we're doing it like this. Okay, not quite. Look. So, oh, that's so stiff. So just to show you, this gray is there. And then does this mean I've done it wrong, or does it mean it's gonna... And I sort of remember how to do these. They're so stiff though. Okay. So I've successfully created the basic thing of it, I think. But have I... So there I see devoid of eyes. Devoid of eyes. And it looks like these shapes are right. So I think I've got it right somehow. Somehow I've done it without losing my mind. All right, so we've successfully created this talisman. Now, there is the sequence here. That's going to be our 3 digits. So how does that work? I suppose this is giving us the order. 1, 2, 3. And for each star here, we think we've got a number. Eyes are 4, if I'm right about the number being how many letters. Of is 2 and devoid is 6. But how do we... How are we saying that if the first letter is this M, does that mean the first letter is devoid? The first word is devoid? Or do we split it? Like, why would we choose this instead of this? Well, I guess we could run through a couple of possibilities, but if the M or the Mars, I guess it should be facing us, maybe. Mars open up. I mean, should we be looking then at the of? Or this one? That's a really weird... Or should we be splitting it? That's a very odd decision of a game to make. I mean, one possibility is that we should be reading this, but I don't know why. I don't know on what logic basis you say this M corresponds to this rather than this, rather than this. Maybe you should say it's whatever splits. So you split the M and you get eyes, and then you split this and you also get eyes. Then you split this and you get devoid of. That doesn't make much sense. All right, what if it's the one next to it? So I just go M. Or should we be doing it the way... That's a very weird choice, but okay, let's say we say this is devoid. And then we said devoid was a 6. And then the next symbol is this symbol. So we say that that's of, which is a 2. And then the next symbol is this symbol, which we're going to say is the eyes, which is a 4. So I'm going to do 6 to 4. So 6, and then 2, and then 4. I guess it has the advantage of giving us a single word for each symbol. All right, let's try it. Let's try 624. I can't say I love it, but let's see what happens. So star 624. Let's see if it worked. No, that was it. I carefully inserted the amulet into the keyhole, feeling a sense of unease as I did so. To my surprise, it fit perfectly, and with a soft click, the door unlocked. All right, so let's pause it. Check in with the chat. It's also called a mash. Okay, I think it has to be 1 on the side of the symbol because that arrow doesn't have a word, and that's also the only one that's not above the door. Okay. Seems like everyone came to the same conclusion. Jonathan said 624 seconds, right? All right, so miraculously, we are making progress here. Pleasantly surprised with that. Why don't we take our first break? We're just about holding it together. I'll see you in 8 minutes. All right, we're back. We've solved a couple puzzles. Let me show you what I think is the most interesting thing to me, though. It's this. So we've just opened up this one, but it looks like we should want to go into the drawing room, which is to open up this one, which I don't feel like we're ready to solve. Although I did notice this. We noticed that this lines up with this, and this lines up with this. But what we shouldn't forget is that on the flip side of these is some English. So essentially this is mapping to the word better. And this is mapping to a phrase in hell. So better something in hell, something, something. And it's also not clear if it's read in reverse, but and these aren't letter for letter, so something better alive in hell than dead in heaven or something like that. Okay. So I feel like we're not ready to go into the salon left door yet. And we haven't really made use of this. All right, so we resume. We successfully solved that puzzle. Did it tell us to, how do we go back? Did it tell me to turn another page? Surely it did. But yeah, here, okay, take the next page, 8. All right, let's get our next page here. All right, so we've got the guest bedroom and the large clock, which are here, bedroom and clock in the corners. And then we've got a folded book here. It's like a little bit of a diary. And then we've noticed that we've got these things here again. An M and an O and blanks that match up with our entrance. Strange, huh? Okay, let's take a look at this. Oh, and we've got another phrase here. In heaven. Okay, let's fill this in. So it's this one here, which says in heaven. Better something in hell than something in heaven. All right, let's take a look at what this says. I have noticed that the staff who I hired to work on the renovations are also affected by the strange atmosphere of the manor. They all seem to avoid certain rooms and corridors, and when I asked them about it, they would only say that the manor is haunted. I have a feeling that I will uncover more in the coming days, but for now I must rest. Saturday, October 14th, 1922. Now, I'll notice this is going backwards because our letter is October 31st, 1922, and here's a diary from October 14th. Dearest diary, the manor that I've inherited is grand and imposing, but it is also a place of great mystery and intrigue. I have been working tirelessly to renovate and restore the property, but it seems that with each step forward, I'm met with strange occurrences that leave me feeling uneasy. So we've got a little divider of symbols here. Today, I discovered a portrait hanging in the grand hall that is unlike any I've ever seen before. The subject of the painting is a woman of great beauty, but her eyes are completely black, as if they had been painted over. The sight sent shivers down my spine. Well, we're not being shown that. So we're told about it, but we were only given access to the large clock and the guest bedroom. And that commentary was when we came into this bedroom. All right. Portrait hanging in the grand hall. So he's talking about a portrait hanging here that we haven't been able to see. Okay, so we've got two puzzles. The large clock and the guest bedroom. Here's the large clock. In one corner of the room stood a large ornate clock. Its mechanism was missing a chain, and the hands were stuck, frozen in time, as if the heartbeat of the house had paused. And it looks like they're both stuck at around 3 o'clock, if I'm reading that right. And then in the guest bedroom puzzle, the guest bedroom appeared recently used, evidenced by the unmade bed. On the door leading to the corridor, someone had scrawled 3 mysterious symbols. I remembered seeing those before. So I wonder if it's just telling us to count the occurrences of those 3 symbols to solve this. But count them according to how many times we've seen them. So this little symbol, I don't know what it's called. I mean, we've seen it 3 times here. So is that digit a 3? And then keys. There are a bunch of keys on the map here. 1, 2. And then crosses. Well, we saw crosses on this route map. I think we saw 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So is the answer 324? Or should we be looking for more copies of those symbols in other places? I suppose we could try 324. John says, might as well try 324, okay. So for the triangle puzzle, that's the screen I want for this. The triangle puzzle. 3. Does anything bad happen if you get it wrong? Oh, that's not it. All right, so let's think. Seems like the basic idea is surely correct. The only thing is if we've miscounted something. So there's 3 of these. I don't see any. Let's see. Are there any more of those symbols anywhere? Do we have to worry about seeing it on any part of any page? And then the keys, I see 2 here. 1, 2. I don't see any more, but are there keys elsewhere that we have to worry about counting? Should we be counting this key as a 3rd? And then on the map, how many crosses are there? I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 crosses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's just try 3, 2, 5 before we make it more complicated. Okay, that was it. With the creak, thank you, Optimal Joy. With the creak, the door slowly opened, revealing a dimly lit corridor beyond. The air was musty and damp, and I could see cobwebs hanging from the ceiling. Take the next page. All right. Page 9 is a familiar situation. More of these cards with these black squares at the bottom. And another folded page of the diary. And more parts of the message. Let's do that first. Where's our message? Okay, so there's that phrase there, which maps to rain. Okay, that sounds like a well-known quote now that I see it. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven, something like that. Okay. Here is the diary continuing. Last night I had a dream, and Samuel was in it. He was standing in front of a door which I knew led to the basement of the manor. He turned to me and said, You're not ready to see what lies beyond this door, John. It's better you do not know. I woke up, my heart racing and my body covered in cold sweat. Boy, that's creepy. Saturday, October 21st, 1922. Dearest Diary, this past week has been a trying one. To my astonishment, all the staff I employed for the renovations have quit unexpectedly, leaving me with just Samuel the butler. There's a peculiar air about him. I cannot shake the feeling he's hiding something. His knowledge of the house and its history seems deeper than he admits. Okay, this guy, Samuel, is starting to terrify me. He's the devil. The mansion's butler. Alright, that's scary. So let's see, what new rooms did we get? So we still haven't solved the clock puzzle. But now we're into the basement and the second bedroom. Let's see, there's the basement door there. And the second bedroom is up here. All right, well, let's not go into the basement until we have to. At the corridor's end, I found a heavy oak door reinforced with iron bands. Clearly locked for ages, it gave me an uneasy feeling. And then we got 3 circles that have question marks, but look what this is. I believe what we're looking at is 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 squares. And then the question marks are right at the boundary lines between these 4 squares. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're meant to fill in these 4 squares with numbers and then find the numbers in between each pair, each consecutive pair. Like if this was 3 and a 5, this might be a 4, something like that. But it is not clear how we would get these 4 numbers. What are we looking at here? It's just like a weird doorknob. I don't know how to make sense of what kind of puzzle that would be. Let's look at this one. The second guest bedroom looked long abandoned. Aside from a journal page on the floor, which we just read, only the bedside table piqued my interest. Okay, what have we got here? M-A something O-E, okay. And then a little knob. All right, well, these letters look like they match all the letters that we've seen at the bottom of these sheets. Like that was the weird M-A-L. And then we have an O. And there's our M. M-A, this, O, and then an E, which I don't think we've gotten yet. Oh, here is the E right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've been given an order. I wonder if we could lay it out like that. M-A. Yes, you can see something's happening here. Okay, here's our Roman numeral CIV. So remember the reminder of how to read Roman numerals. a lesser before a greater, its value was subtracted. So we start with the C, which is 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, 500, and 1000. So 100 followed by a 1. A lesser followed by a greater, so that's 101 minus 5. On a lesser before a greater one, its value was subtracted. So I think we have 101 minus 5 is 496. Is that right? What is the, or is it one? Sorry, not 496. Just 096. Or am I doing the order wrong? I don't know where I got 400. 100. A lesser before a greater one. You subtract, otherwise is add. So it's 101 minus 5. Is 96. Or 104. I'm obviously doing the Roman numeral adding wrong. Jonathan says it should be 104. How are we getting it? We're saying this IV is 4. I should know that. IV is 4. So 104. Because if it was VI, it would be 6. IV, it's reversed. So we subtract. Do we read right to left? Is that what we do? So this tells us to subtract, and then we're getting bigger, so we add. 4, this is 104. 104, okay. Sometimes I'm good at the macro and bad at the micro details. All right, so we think this code is 104. I think that's right. Okay, let's put in this puzzle. It's this one. 104. All right, that worked. Inside the drawer, I discovered a tattered copy of Milton's Paradise Lost. Take the next page. All right, so this page actually has 2 folds and no cuts. Go ahead and do that. It's cute that this game has all these folding. Maybe I shouldn't have printed it on such heavy stock. All right, so we have our last word of this, which we already had guessed. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. Okay, a little devil worship stuff going on here. Milton's Paradise Lost, illustrated by Gustave Doré. Notes and a Life of Milton by Robert Vaughan, D.D. And here we have an illustration and what looks like the actual poem of Paradise Lost. Numbered lines, book 1, lines 243 to 276. All right, so we might have a phrase that we're supposed to. How about better to reign in heaven than serve in hell? Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. There it is. So 261 to 3, 4, 260, 261, 262, 263. That's going to be our answer. That it's line 263. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. Okay, so that is going to be the answer to this puzzle. That's pretty cute. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. When we decoded that using all our other things, we can look that up. That's line 263, which is going to be the answer to that puzzle. Everyone agree with that? 263. I pushed the door open, half expecting some sort of resistance. The gaze of the angel's statue seemed to pierce through me, making me feel uneasy. Take page 11. All right. So here's page 11. Not too much more for us to do here in episode 1. So we just walked into the drawing room, I believe. No, the salon left door. Yeah, we just went into the drawing room through this door. And here's what we see in the drawing room. I see a whole bunch of little numbers here at the bottom. I guess are we looking up at the ceiling? I see maybe all of the digits. I see a 7, a 2, 8, 4, 5, 1, 9. Are we supposed to draw a line between them? Like 0, 1, 2. I see 2 8s. Let's see what else we got here. All right, the drawing room. The drawing room, shrouded in dust and draped windows, had its furniture covered in white sheets, lending an eerie feel, yet the ceiling's aged painting, despite the gloom, remained captivating. All right, so we're looking up at the painting on the ceiling, which has got numbers. And then look at this binoculars. Broken binoculars lay on a table. The left lens is missing. It's too cracked. The right side with its intact lens caught the room's faint light, and it wants me to cut this out. That is easier said than done. Big scissors. Okay. It's like a little X-Acto knife would be a little easier. But Maybe we can make it work. Okay. So we need to cut here somewhere. So if you're listening to this on the radio, we are cutting out little holes in this binocular. And presumably, what are we going to do with this? We're going to use it to look at the ceiling somehow and get a 3-digit code. The ceiling's aged painting, despite the gloom, remained captivating. And then it says broken binoculars lay on a table. The left lens, so obviously we're looking at it this way, through this way. Here's our left lens. Left lens missing, its tube cracked. The right side with its intact lens caught the room's faint light. And then we're looking at this, which I don't know if there's a way to think about. Like, what are we doing here? On what basis should we wind this up? And do we even know which is right side up? I mean, if you were just to look at the way the page was oriented, it was oriented this way. Is this even the right thing to be looking at? Surely it is. Okay, I see a number here. Is that my imagination or is that a number 6? Boy, that's hard to see, huh? When I look at it here, I looks like I must be imagining it. Where did I think I see it, though? Now looking at it on the screen, I don't see anything. Is there anything, any way the binoculars could interact with the other drawing room? Oh, I mean, here's what we have. We have a drawing room. That's all we have, just one drawing room. It's a drawing room with the curtains. I'm not sure what drawing room you... Oh, this. Could it interact with this room? I'm not sure on what basis we would put it somewhere. It's talking about the ceiling's aged painting remained captivating. Let me just see what, I mean, it feels to me like we would be looking up at the ceiling, but it does say that the right side with its intact lens caught the room's faint light. What a weird situation. Like, I'm thinking it should give us 3 numbers here. And only one of them fits here. Oh, I saw some numbers here, but then Now I'm looking again, I don't see any. Feels like the puzzle is to look up at the ceiling. And then catch a couple through here and one through here. What a weird choice for a puzzle. So here's the puzzle. We have to solve this puzzle. Surely this puzzle is solved with the binoculars. Ceiling's aged painting, despite the gloom, remained captivating. So surely we're looking at the ceiling. Surely we're looking at the ceiling with our binoculars. Surely we should be trying to find like one number in here and some numbers in there. Do we have a good reason to think that we shouldn't be looking at it this way? What an odd thing to ask us to do. Are the Boy, I really thought I saw numbers down here, and what's happening with that? I mean, logically, you think that you would think that it would go over some set this way and give us a set three numbers. Two in here and one in there. What a weird choice. The right side with its intact lens caught the room's light. So would that side maybe have to face the side of the room with the windows? I don't really see which side of the room has windows. I don't really understand what we're looking at here, to be honest. Jonathan says, by one of the angel demon outcroppings, there's an odd square symbol. Can we line that up with the missing lens? I mean, if I flip this over so that it seems upside down, you want to flip it over like this so that this thing is in here. And I get an 8. The negative space between the columns seemed to have a heavy outline that might line up with the cutout on the binoculars. the negative space between the columns seems to have a heavy outline. That is a very good observation. Okay. So what you're saying is that these heavy outlines that are these rectangles seem to fit this shape. Like this one here. And the question is, can we fit it in there and then read out what's here, perhaps? Or vice versa, like that. That's a very interesting observation. Like this one matches it. There's an 8. Like that matches that shape and gives us an 8. I like that. And then this one seems to match it pretty well too, but gives nothing. So I like this theory, and that seems to give us an 8 here. But what next? Groot says this is a clever puzzle. I can't say that I really like this, but do you think... I mean, we see this match here surely is an 8. But in what order? So there's an 8, but what next? Are there... Like what? This one maybe matches? Okay, if this one also matches, that's another 8. And then what? This one here? 9. Okay. So it looks to me like 8, 8, 9, but in what order? I think I get 8, 8, 9, but why would we prefer one order over the other? Like, why wouldn't it be 8, 9, 8? I think I know how to order the numbers you find using Matt's message. Do you want a hint? Yes, absolutely. I want a hint. Do we think it's... We saw something, didn't we? We saw this, didn't we? This is what you're going to say, aren't you? Yes, it just occurred to me. Jonathan figured it out. Okay, so we noticed these, and then the connection is to match them. Okay, so this woman here, who's got her hand raised, which one of the 3 is she? This one was our 8. This is... This one is this one, so she's an 8. Okay. And then let's find where our next one was. That was our 8. And then we did, this one was our 9. Which one is that? That looks like this one. That's our 9. There's our 8. So 9, 8, 8. Very nice. I think that's right. Let's try it. And this is the drawing room puzzle. All right, well, we've basically figured this out. If this isn't the exact answer, then it just means I've been a little bit sloppy. As I marveled at the ceiling's intricate design, my gaze gradually descended, adjusting to the dim light. That's when a glint of metal caught my eye. All right, well done. Good teamwork. There are still some things we haven't used here, but let's try to reorganize our space a bit. I think we got some playing cards. Tarot cards, I guess. All right, let's see what we've got here. Almost hidden amongst the darker drapery and furniture, there lay a thin chain, unmistakably the missing replacement part for the clock. Beneath it were 2 ancient tarot cards and another diary page. Clockmaker's note: for accurate timekeeping, adjust the clock's mechanism to match the length of the chain. The key lies in aligning it with the house's measurements. Okay, so it wants us to cut this out here. Align it with the house's measurements. Okay, well, we saw that there's a little bit of a legend on the thing here, whatever that means. And we've got tarot cards. Cleomonte and La Luna, the moon, and Gliamonte. What is Gliamonte? So we have a number there, 6. Okay, let's read our diary here. Monday, October 30th, 1922. Okay, so day before Halloween and the day before we got our call to get here. Dear Diary, today I attempted to ask Samuel about the previous owners of the place, but he seemed uncomfortable with the topic and quickly changed the subject. I can't help but wonder why he is so unwilling to speak about them. In my desperation, I have decided to write a letter to an old friend of mine who is a renowned investigator, with invitation to join me in the Manor. I hope that my friend's arrival will shed some light on the house's mystery. That's us he's talking about, and he did invite us. There's the letter he wrote the next day. So where is our friend? What has happened? Okay, and we're told that this is combining with the clock, which is one of the puzzles we never solved. There's 2 we never solved. The basement door, but here's the clock. And we're told that this somehow gets combined. Almost hidden amongst the darker drapery lay a thin chain, the missing replacement part for the clock. To match the length of the chain, the key lies in aligning it with the house's measurement. So the large clock is found here. And what are we supposed to do with it? The mechanism was missing a chain. The hands were stuck, frozen in time, as if the heartbeat of the house had paused. Adjust the clock's mechanism to match the length of the chain. The key lies in aligning it with the house's measurement. So it's on the clock. Aligning it with the house's measurement, huh? And then somehow these are related. So it looks like we might have the number 2 and the number 6 here. Any theories? Do you think we're just supposed to line it up here and guess what the pattern is here? Like, guess what this length number would be? 50, 100. This would be 110. Right, you can see 5 and 10. That would be 105. This would be 110. Is that all it's asking us to do, to guess? The key is the house's measurements. I wonder if it's just supposed to get us to guess that this is 110. Could that possibly just be right? I know what Jonathan is going to say. Jonathan says, Jonathan is always rational. He says, try the easy one. See if that's the answer. The back of the tarot cards seem to be a chain pattern. Yeah, they do. But I don't know how to make use of this. Jonathan says, sure, try 110. I mean, something doesn't seem right here. 2, 6. I mean, I guess I'll just try 110 and see what happens. Doesn't seem right. See what happens. 110. That was it. I carefully replaced the chain of the clock, threading it through its intricate gears and mechanisms. Suddenly, the clock's hands sprang to life, whirling around the face at an incredible pace. To my astonishment, a hidden compartment behind the clock face suddenly slid open. Next page. Okay, so we got 2 pages left. Here's page 13, which is giving us more tarot cards and more diary. All right, so we've got 2 new tarot cards. We have got El Diablo, the devil, and La Forza, which I think is fortune. Okay, so we've got 4 tarot cards. We've solved the clock puzzle, and we have a new diary entry. I'm convinced that Samuel is the devil, which I'm not too thrilled about. There's Samuel. Okay. Let's take a look at this new diary. In shadow depths, the devil takes his throne. The moon above casts light on paths unknown. The lovers stand their bonds forever tight, while strength emerges, taming beasts with might. These sound like they might be giving us fortune cards. Like the devil takes his throne. The moon casts light. That's La Luna. The lovers stand. Is that what Guglielmonti is? The lovers? Yes, that's Cupid shooting arrows at the lover. Taming beasts with might, with strength. Oh, what? Maybe La Forza means strength. So, if that's right, we do have numbers here in that order, right? XV 2 4 11. So 15 2 4 11, but that doesn't. That's definitely too many digits. But we don't even have a puzzle. Do we? Yes. Remember this one where I said we should have 4 and in between? Okay, I think that's it then. So this is going to be an order. The devil is 15, 2-digit number there. That's our thing. The next digit, or let's do it this way, XV. The next one is II. The next one is VI. And the next one is what? What is that? Do we think that's an XI? Surely it's not another VI. Must be XI. Okay, and then you can see this becomes VI, IV, IX, or 6, 4, 9. What do we think about that? VI is 6. That's what I've written. Okay, 649. Okay, and Jonathan says, good job figuring out the code. You never read the journal entry on the back. Okay, let's do this. In older decks, usually Marseille decks, instead of more popular RWS decks, the lovers features 3 people, usually a male with a younger woman and an older woman, indicates a choice to be made. I see. Okay, so I didn't read the last part of this. Thank you, Jonathan. All right, so let's read this. Wednesday, November 1st. Dearest Diary, Samuel is nowhere to be seen today. Ugh. I'm not surprised. As I searched the entire house, my path eventually led me to the basement door. To my astonishment, as I approached it, I noticed tiny childlike footprints in the floor dust leading directly to its threshold. With Samuel absent and no children here, the mystery of their presence is deeply unsettling. Thinking back to the dream where he warned me against exploring the basement, I'm torn between curiosity and trepidation. Yikes. All right, well, I'm afraid that we know the code to the basement door. A little bit reluctant to go in this door. I'm afraid Samuel is going to be there doing some child sacrifice. Very creepy. But it's time for a break. Let's take our next break. We've only got one more sheet of puzzle, so we are right about at the end here. Let's take an 8-minute break. I'll see you back then. Well, I guess there's nothing for us to do but go down into the basement. I have to say, I am not looking forward to meeting Samuel down there, but I don't see that we have much choice. All right, here we go. The clock has been ticking while we're on break, but I guess that's okay. So we're bringing up the basement puzzle, which is this one. We want this screen. Okay. I don't know why it's so focused up high. Okay, there's our... Is that what the problem is? Yes, I'm just pushing the wrong button. Okay, here we go. 649, we said. As the door creaked open, I peered into the darkness below. The first step was barely visible. Hesitating, I questioned my courage to confront what lay hidden in the depths of the basement. And it says, end the chapter. Oh, that's it, because the last sheet was just the sheet we started with. Congratulations! You have completed the first episode of this escape room game. Get the second episode below. Whew. Okay, so we did it. We got into the basement. To remind you, there are 4 parts of this game. created by a little indie developer. In 2003, I believe the game was made. And let's see, without looking at anything, there are the 4 parts. They look like they're all about the same length as the one we just played. So part 2 would be next. You can see it starts with a little recap of the story, and then gameplay looks identical, except here we get a little bit more information about scoring based on time. It looks like maybe it remembers what hints you may have taken to reduce your score. And then don't look at parts 3 and 4. All right, let's talk about the experience, and then let's discuss if the group wants to play episodes 2, 3, and 4 in the coming days. I did manage to get through it without too much coughing. So if the group would like, we could play episode 2 tomorrow, Wednesday evening. Any thoughts on the game in general? There was one puzzle I really didn't like. That was the straight line route map. All of the rest, though, most of the rest I felt pretty good about. I guess you would say on the easy to medium length, a little bit of story, just a thin story here, but enough, and creepy. It got the creepy part right. I do like the fact that you're getting elements. It's not quite linear. It's fairly linear. I mean, you sort of are proceeding one little thing at a time. Normally, it seems like there's a fairly clear puzzle you should be working on next. Maybe saying it's non-linear is not right. It does seem linear. Like the game knows that you should be doing each page in turn. You can never jump ahead. It never says skip to page 12. You're always getting the new pages one at a time. It's just that occasionally you're getting items that you won't use yet. Matt says, I like this one. Delia says, I played episode 1 with my sister. We enjoyed it a lot. The puzzles were clever and just difficult enough to give you the satisfaction of solving them. Jonathan says, yeah, beside the first train puzzle map, nothing threw us for too much of a loop. Mexi Girl says, I liked it. Cute little creepy game. Delia says, I will skip your future episodes on this as I bought it too. We'll play with my sister. Looks like it'll be fun. So yeah, I mean I liked it. Didn't blow me away. I guess if it were me, maybe it would be nice to have a little more story, a little more narrative. They are pure puzzle games. I do like and there were a couple puzzles that we were like, is it really just this? And it was. But then there were a couple puzzles that were quite clever. It was neat that one puzzle circled, like that final puzzle, we did see it way early and wondered how are they going to make this work. That was pretty cool. Jonathan says, minor nitpick, might have been a bit clearer what side to read first on some of the folded pieces. I do think you have a point there. Like the folding of the pieces, like here, it was cool. We got these diaries, but it is very unclear. Like, because as a book, you would expect to read it this way, but really these feel like single sheets. So like when you fold it, it's meant to be like you're just front and back of a single sheet. Like, look, there's that notch. There's that notch here. So I guess these are meant to be as if they were single sheets, not things that were folded. So yeah, it is a little unclear which you're supposed to read first. Maybe we should always orient it towards the page the way it came out. But I agree with you that that would have been a nice thing to do. I liked having this map so we could see where we were in the manor. I like that quite a bit, actually. All right, so I mean, I am feeling well enough. So do we want to play episode 2 tomorrow night, which is tonight, as usual? Wednesday evening, shall we continue with the game and play episode 2 tomorrow? It is going to be a little tricky because if we play episode 2 on Wednesday, episode 3 on Thursday, we can't play episode 4 on Friday because we've got Mockery Manor scheduled for Friday. So I guess what we'll be doing is playing like the first 3 out of 4 episodes tomorrow, in the next coming days. And then take a break, play Mockery Manor, then come back and play episode 4 on the following Monday. Or, given that this session took us 2 hours, 40 minutes, another option would be to try to get 2 in on one night. Xero says, I like the art on some of the pages matches the art of Paradise Lost. I do think you're right that one of the highlights of this experience was the historical elements to the historical tarot cards, the historical references to Milton's Paradise Lost. That was pretty cool. It added to the creepy old world feel of the game. All right, so Jonathan says, I'm not sure there is a conclusion. There might be an episode 5 in development. If there is, it's way overdue since this is a 2023 game, but I don't know, maybe episode 4 was not 2023. All right, well, let's plan to meet again tomorrow. Same time, 10 p.m. I'm not going to schedule it now. I really dislike people who are sort of flaking out. So I want to get some sleep. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to make sure things haven't gotten worse. As long as things haven't gotten worse, we will play episode 2 tomorrow night. Thank you for your company. Thank you for your help. A good group effort. A reminder, we have reached 5,000 subscribers to the channel, which is fun. Doesn't really come with anything, but it is fun. If you like the content on this channel, you might consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up. Let's all thank the Patreon supporters that help pay for all of these games. And I do hope you will join me on Saturday for the live channel update and Q&A. If you have questions, you can submit them ahead of time on the YouTube, on the Board Game Geek Guild, or on the Discord. I'll see you tomorrow.